Yes, people, I spent 2 weeks playing every WWE2K, my career / my rise, and it is all in one video. Please like and subscribe, all that great stuff, and let's get into our first game of WWE2K 15. We get to the Performance Center and Bill DeMott's there, and Bill DeMott is telling us we need to get in the ring with this guy, and his name is Baron Blade. Now, Baron Blade is one of those characters that is in majority of the career modes, and he is a continuous character throughout. So we get into it with Baron Blade, and Baron Blade ends up putting us a submission hold, we tap out, and he doesn't let go. Bill DeMott throws him off, and we get offered a contract regardless to go to NXT. And leading up to this, you can have the tutorial in the Performance Center on how to play the game. You can also just quit the match and you can just skip through this bit anyway. Get to NXT and win your next 4 matches to become the #1 contender for the NXT Championship. Once you do that, you become a #1 contender obviously, and then you will face Neville in a one-on-one match for the NXT Championship. In this case, I won and I beat Neville and I became the NXT Champion. We're defending it night in and night out, and we've finally been promoted to Superstars. And in this game, how you get promoted to other shows, you have to have your social media following up, and you gain followers by having higher star rated matches. And you get feedback after the matches on how your match went. So once you do that, you get to progress throughout all the other shows. In this case, I dropped the NXT Championship because I want to go on to do other stuff, and then you get to choose what pay-per-view you want to appear at throughout the year. But most of the time, this career mode is very dull. So you get to choose your pay-per-views and you get to have unique storylines going into them pay-per-views, right? But throughout the rest of the year, you have 1 match a month. It's either a tune-up match or a dark match. And Vicky Guerrero gives you the same generic thing over and over and over again. I have too many fond memories of this career mode, purely because of Vicky Guerrero and how she's nightmare fuel. And Vicky Guerrero hates you, by the way. Like, just look at this.
Hey, I want to talk to you. You really think you're the best, don't you? You make me sick. Hope you like gauntlets. Just looking at you annoys me so much. You know what? You're facing Big E this week, then Ryback the next week, then Mark Henry the week after that, and lastly, Big Show the following week. You have a great rest of the month.
As you can see, Vicky Guerrero hates us for no good reason. The first storyline I ran into was a Survivor Series one, where we have the choice whether to go Team Randy Orton or Team John Cena. Now, growing up, I was more of a John Cena fan, so I chose John Cena. We joined John Cena's team and we got the victory at the Survivor Series event. So I then had a rivalry with William Regal, and it was a retirement angle. William Regal was the one who trained us and helped us get into WWE and scouted us, and basically he wants us to end his career, and we end William Regal's career, and it was quite a cool, unique storyline. I thought it was quite cool. Following that, The Miz found out that we are the new #1 contender for his Intercontinental Championship, and we go on to have an Intercontinental Championship match against him. We get to choose a stipulation. I chose a table, ladders and chairs match. We beat him and win the Intercontinental Championship. After that, I didn't defend the championship. Also, when it comes to being a champion, if you don't defend your title at least once, they strip you of the championship. So that's pretty annoying. Obviously, I was stripped of the title for not defending it too much, so then I got involved in a rivalry with The Shield, and it was an absolute amazing rivalry with like very cool, unique cutscenes. So then I tried to skip all the boring storylines and just basically quit the match, and it gives you a terrible rating and you lose a lot of your social media following, to the point it went all the way down to 0 for me, and I couldn't progress to Monday Night Raw, and I was locked in this loop of the same storylines over and over again until I actually played it. So I had to eventually end up playing the rivalries, even the ones I didn't want to do. After progressing through them stories, got into a rivalry with Baron Blade. Baron Blade, this guy that made me tap out at the Performance Center, we are now face each other once again, and he says he wants to make his mark. So he makes his mark at my expense by beating me down with a steel chair and injuring me. And a whole month go by, and this guy is beating the whole likes of Sheamus, Randy Orton. He's getting endorsed by The Rock. It's all going off. Vicky Guerrero can't find him a challenger. We're trying to get ourselves in there, but guess what? She's saying no because we're still injured. Baron Blade messed us up that much, yeah? And we tried to ask again, didn't happen. But finally, we asked for the 3rd time, and guess what? We have to beat Sheamus. And if we could beat Sheamus, we get a match with Baron Blade. Now, I got my match with Baron Blade at WrestleMania. It was our first WrestleMania, and we beat Baron Blade, and instead of attacking him, I chose not to. Now, I did play the storyline twice, so I do have the alternate ending where you just beat him up with a steel chair as well. We beat Baron Blade at WrestleMania, and it looks like we've got going on to bigger and better things. The bigger and better things I'm talking about is this rivalry with Daniel Bryan, who at the time was arguably one of the biggest names in WWE. Obviously, he's now in AEW, but he's still one of the biggest names in the wrestling industry. So he basically hasn't lost a match in 6 months, and it's our character's job to try and stop that. Yoshi Yuta is going to try and stop the unbeatable streak of Daniel Bryan. So Daniel Bryan comes down to the ring, and we have the choice whether to show him some respect or hit him with a low blow or a cheap shot. We chose to give him some respect, and obviously because it's Daniel Bryan, and we go to face him at the pay-per-view, and we end up beating Daniel Bryan, and that concludes that rivalry. Following that, we had a couple of boring, just dialogue-driven rivalries, but then we had the Royal Rumble. We get put into 3 battle royals, and the more we win, the higher our entry spot will be. I won all of my matches, so I got the number 27 spot. So the Rumble's going on, and we come out at number 27. So we get to the final 2, and it's me and Cody Rhodes. Me and Cody Rhodes going at it, and the fun fact, the actual current year of my career at this point is actually 2024, where Cody Rhodes won his 2nd Royal Rumble to face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. So let's see if history will repeat itself, or will Yoshi Yuta punch his ticket to WrestleMania. And Yoshi Yuta wins the Royal Rumble, and he's heading to WrestleMania. Following that, we have our match for the WWE title at WrestleMania. And in this, my career, the WWE champion was Cesaro. And Yoshi Yuta got the victory and became the new WWE champion. In 2K15's my career, once you become WWE champion, that means that the career mode is over. It simulates you to 2030. So you have a choice in your retirement match. You have to take on Daniel Bryan, Baron Blade, or you pass the baton on to a new young up-and-comer. I chose to have one more match with Baron Blade, and we tore the house down at WrestleMania, and a great retirement match with an awesome cutscene at the end, and it showed all the accomplishments, and that wraps up WWE2K15. If I had to rank this out of 10, I would say 2K15's my career gets a 4 out of 10. But with that all done, 2K15 is in the books. Let's go on to WWE2K16. Now, with WWE2K16, there's a Hall of Fame achievement where you work towards. You have to do 1 main goal or 3 sub goals, but there's an option of 7 sub goals and 5 main goals. Our only goal is to become a Hall of Famer, so we're going to do that by holding the title for 365 days. So let's get started on 2K16, starting at the Performance Center all over again. So we go through the Performance Center, and we meet some NXT stars along the way, making some friends and some enemies. We then debut in a tag team match with Baron Corbin against Hideo Itami and Finn Balor, which we unfortunately lose. We upgrade our attributes like you do in 2K15, and then we got put into a rivalry with...
Let's talk about Tyler Breeze.
Tyler Breeze. We get through NXT, we win the NXT Championship, and we're going on to the main roster. Now, we're trying to be part of the Authority to get an easier path to the WWE Championship. We're putting ourselves in the contendership rankings for the WWE title. We have the choice of the tag team titles, the United States, Intercontinental, but we want the WWE title straight away. During the Authority, you have to do the goals they set you every night. My first storyline on the main roster was trying to help the Authority, so we had the choice. So Ryback comes out to take out Seth Rollins in the middle of our match, and Seth Rollins knows we want to be part of the Authority. We've made it very clear in interviews. He's interrupted our match to try and get some help from us to help him take out Ryback, and we help him out anyway. We help him out, and then we get to Survivor Series. We have a tag team match, teaming up with Seth Rollins against Dolph Ziggler and Ryback. After the match is a beatdown, and then we once again have the choice whether to help Seth Rollins or be a babyface and rebel against the Authority. I still chose to go with the Authority, and we took down Ryback. So we're going through some months to get a higher ranking for the WWE Championship, and had my first WrestleMania match against Sting. Well, the Authority helped me in the lead up to the match. We are heading into WrestleMania, and we beat Sting at WrestleMania. Some months go by, and the Money in the Bank ladder match is upon us, and we have entered the Money in the Bank ladder match, and we win the Money in the Bank, and we cash in the next night on Brock Lesnar, open up the rankings from number 4 to number 1, and becoming the new WWE champion. Now, In these months, I've kind of been slacking on the Authority challenges, so they wasn't too happy with me. So they came out to congratulate me for winning the championship, and I realised the Authority didn't really help me do anything. So instead of embracing them and joining the Authority once again, I then chose to rebel against the Authority. I got a massive target on my back. I got a target on my back from the Authority, Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. Brock wants his rematch and the Authority authorises it. So we head into the next pay-per-view and I get screwed out of the title. As there was a choice whether to take the help from Triple H with the steel chair or not. So in doing so, we said no to the chair and Brock Lesnar locks in the Kimura lock. Triple H signals for the bell, and even though we never tapped out to the Kimura lock and Brock Lesnar has won the WWE title and we have been screwed out of the WWE Championship, Esteban worked his whole life to get here just to be screwed over by the Suits, by the Authority, by Seth Rollins, by Brock Lesnar, by Paul Heyman. Everyone has screwed over Esteban, and Esteban has no rematch in sight, and things are looking very bleak for Esteban.
He won the United States Championship in 2012 and held the title for an estate.
It's Royal Rumble time, and Esteban is here in the Royal Rumble. We took out the likes of Big Show, Kane, Seth Rollins, Triple H on the road to the Royal Rumble to get our payback on the Authority. Nonetheless, we're here in the Royal Rumble and Esteban is going after every single person, every Authority member, everyone that's done him wrong. And Esteban goes on to win the Royal Rumble match and he's heading to WrestleMania. The following night, The Rock comes out and he wants to be involved in WrestleMania in the main event against Brock Lesnar and Esteban. Esteban not very happy about it, but he hasn't got many allies as the Authority is still breathing down his neck. Esteban takes the help from The Rock and Esteban and The Rock take down the Authority, and The Rock is inserted into the WrestleMania main event against Brock Lesnar and Esteban. Get to WrestleMania, Esteban, The Rock, Brock Lesnar. This match is going to make or break Esteban, and Esteban was made this night. This was the night that everyone will remember. Esteban makes his comeback and wins the WWE Championship in the main event of WrestleMania against Brock Lesnar and The Rock. So now we're on task to do our goal, and that is hold the championship for a year, 365 days, and complete the Hall of Fame challenge to get into the Hall of Fame. We beat a who's who of the best 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 on the roster, and legends and Hall of Famers, future Hall of Famers as well. And we've done all that, but the night after the Rumble, we have two challengers breathing down our necks. Also, we have the Authority who want Seth Rollins to face us at WrestleMania. So we have Daniel Bryan, John Cena and Seth Rollins. And I feel alone and attacked and no one's going to help me. However, to rebel against the Authority, John Cena and Daniel Bryan helped me out and they came to our aid to take down the Authority. At Fastlane after the match, all three men plead their case as to why they should be number one contenders for the WWE title heading into WrestleMania. So the night before WrestleMania we get to choose who we get to face. Because we passed them up in 2K15 and chose Baron Blade, I chose Daniel Bryan. And me and Daniel Bryan had, to quote JR, a slobber knocker in the main event of WrestleMania for the WWE Championship. Now, this WrestleMania marked 365 days, so that means Esteban has been champion for 365 days, so we can now enter the WWE Hall of Fame. Esteban enters the Hall of Fame, and his name will be remembered forever. I'll rank this game a 5 out of 10. It's better than 2K15, but it's still very grindy, and that's just not my cup of tea. But nonetheless, Esteban is in the Hall of Fame. His name will be remembered forever. Let's go on to WWE2K17, where our goal is to become world champion at WrestleMania. As there's no definitive ending for this one, you can be a Paul Heyman guy, but that's not my goal for this one. My goal is ultimately just to become world champion at WrestleMania or in any pay-per-view, just become a WWE champion. So let's get things cracking on WWE 2K17 as we close the chapter on 2K16. So WWE 2K17 is literally just a copy and paste of WWE 2K16. Except the fact that they brought in the promo engine, that's pretty much the only difference. You also have the Paul Heyman guy challenge, which we're not going to attempt in this video. You have to do all the stuff you have to do for 2K16's Hall of Fame. We start 2K17 off in the Performance Center and we tussle about with a couple of other superstars that are trying to get a contract to WWE. And look, it's Baron Blade once again from 2K15. Following week we take on Samoa Joe. Then we have a promo with Enzo Amore, and we prove that we're so good we get put straight to the main roster and we skip NXT entirely. Now, that doesn't mean you can't go back to NXT if you want to go for the NXT or NXT Tag Team titles. It just means you can skip over it if you choose to. I then put myself in the contendership ranking for the United States Championship, and I was put at number 5. So it was a quick track to the United States Championship, and this game is so glitched that whoever the last champion was, which in this case was Bray Wyatt, whoever the last champion was, you will face them at every single pay-per-view. And I went for the WWE Championship. Now, the rivalries are all from the new Universe Mode cutscenes, so going back to playing it now, it's literally just like playing Universe Mode or Superstar Mode with your character. So it didn't really feel that special. It's very long, it's very grindy, and it's not really my cup of tea. You win the Rumble and you head into WrestleMania. We win the World title at WrestleMania. It's meant to be the WWE Championship, but for some reason it turns to the World Heavyweight Championship. So yeah, I would give this 3 out of 10. Yeah, it was okay, but a bit grindy. No unique storylines, but the same pretty much can be said for 2K18. So 2K18, our goal is to have a WrestleMania moment, which it says to do, and I think it's called My Player in this one. So we get to 2K18, and obviously go through the Performance Center like normal. You go through NXT, you win the NXT Championship from Bobby Roode. Interviews are still there, just no voiceover. So 2K18, you have a free roam. You can run around backstage through the arenas, and you can talk to multiple different superstars. And I get the vibe that was going for like SmackDown vs. Raw 2011, where you can do that. At least with that, you can do different things and go backstage and start a fight with someone. So we get to Raw. Triple H makes us a jobber. Daniel Bryan says, "See your self-worth." We do that. Beat Braun Strowman. Head to SmackDown with Daniel Bryan. Have a best of 5 series with Dolph Ziggler, which Dolph Ziggler keeps cheating him. The Rock then comes to our aid and says he'll be in our corner to make sure Dolph Ziggler doesn't cheat. We get to Elimination Chamber. We have our match with Dolph Ziggler, and we beat Dolph Ziggler, and we're looking good. And then we get to the Money in the Bank ladder match at Money in the Bank, and AJ Styles gives us his spot because he wants us to win it for him. He wants to see if we're good enough, so he wants us to take out all the superstars that are in the Money in the Bank ladder match and attack them backstage. And the superstars come running out of the locker room. There's absolutely jokes. Despite what you do, it doesn't change the fact the Money in the Bank ladder match, no one has different health, everything's the same, despite what you do. Oh, also, to get 18, Baron Blade's back again, and he's a producer, so that's cool. We win the Money in the Bank ladder match. AJ asks for it back, or asks for it, and we say no because we want it. AJ's not happy about it. We're going to rivalry with AJ Styles, beat him. Go to cash in at Survivor Series, but obviously Triple H doesn't like us, because we defined his authority, and that's not what's best for business, pun intended. Cost us the Money in the Bank cash in, and I just think, does this man just hate us? He's trying to hold you down every opportunity he gets. The Triple H just hates your character, whoever your character is, unless you're trying to be in his favour. He just don't like you. But we get to the Royal Rumble, and this is another opportunity. We win the Rumble essentially. But guess what? Entry number 31 comes out, and it's The Rock. And The Rock beats us down and eliminates us. And The Rock has won the Royal Rumble. And we're there like, what's going on? So I'm so confused, because I thought The Rock was in our corner. I thought he was our friend. But no, he just turned on us. And he's basically saying, oh yeah, I'll see you at WrestleMania. Big things are coming. And we're like, what? So the following month at the Elimination Chamber, we take on AJ Styles for the WWE Championship, and we beat him. Also, there's these match objectives you can have, you have to do to get past each one. So it's not optional, they're mandatory. We win the WWE Championship at the Elimination Chamber, and Triple H wants to try and put us down. So at WrestleMania, it's a triple threat match with The Rock, Triple H, and our character. And we get the victory, and that is our WrestleMania moment, just like the game intended it to be. So, 2K18 in the book, I'll give it a 4 out of 10. Okay, let's go on to 2K19, probably one of my favourite my careers, because it's actually story driven, and you haven't got to wait around and grind just for some sort of entertainment. Start at BCW, which is an indie promotion that hosts shows out of a high school gym mostly. We meet our character known as Fan Go.
Hey, I want you to meet Matt Bloom from NXT. Matt, this is my protege, Van Gogh.
So why do they call you Van Gogh? Are you some kind of artist?
Not quite. I gave him that name because everywhere he goes, his dad's old work van goes. He practically lives in that thing.
Yeah, practically.
See this guy here? You might think he looks a bit familiar. Well, it's Baron Blade. And yes, I know, bro fell off. Just a quick thing. The reason why Buzz drives this van is because it's the last thing that his dad gave him before his dad passed away. Matt Bloom comes to one of the shows to scout out our opponent, which is Cole Quinn, another person who makes loads of cameos and other career modes going forward. We have our match and we win. Matt Bloom is impressed and he wants to give us an opportunity at a WWE tryout match, and he thinks Cole needs to change his gimmick, which pisses Cole off. Maybe enough to sabotage our WWE tryout. We arrive at Monday Night Raw and Triple H tells us we have a squash match against Braun Strowman, who gives us a choice of what match we would like to have, and this happens.
Let's have a Falls Count Anywhere match. I've won a bunch of those on the indies, so I like my chances.
I can't believe you thought I was actually going to let you choose the type of match tonight. We're going to do what I want to do because I'm the monster among men. So it'll be a steel cage match. That way you can't run from me.
Steel cage. Great idea.
We have our match and we drop to Braun Strowman. We are offered an NXT contract. On our way out of the arena, this happens.
Just a one-time thing, or are you signing with WWE?
Well, actually, I was literally just offered an NXT contract, and I can't wait to get started.
You should just skip NXT and go straight to the main roster.
Actually, you know what? Hey, Triple H, you say listen to your audience? Well, the audience is saying that I'm good enough to go straight to the main roster, which actually, I think I proved it tonight by going toe-to-toe with Braun Strowman in a steel cage and not backing down, but...
Hey, stop. Leave him alone. Oh, what was that all about?
Triple H and Matt Bloom see the video and they fire us, despite it not being our fault, but we did bash NXT. So Van Gogh is down in the dumps and he's upset, and Baron Blade knocks on the door and he says the video's gone viral, must be nice, and it had loads of attention for the shows and it's going to be live streamed on pay-per-view, and our character is no longer called Van Gogh, it's now called Buzz because we create a buzz. Cole Quinn teases us about the WWE tryout and we have this very suspicious but funny interaction.
What? Oh, you don't like it? Why? Not a fan of masks these days?
You know, I find it really interesting that I was attacked by somebody wearing a mask, and next time I see you, you have a mask. Not to mention, you also had all the motivation in the world to do it.
You're right. It was me. So what are you gonna do about it?
You better tell me the truth right now.
It wasn't me! I had a match that night 300 miles away. I got the gas receipts to prove it. But I could have hired somebody to do it.
What?
There was a joke! Man, relax.
We have our match with Cole and we even smash our fan windshield. After the match, Buzz and Cole begin a friendship and have mutual respect for one another. After the pay-per-view, Cole has a huge opportunity in Japan, while Baron has a huge opportunity in Mexico. We go to Mexico in the van and we see the masked man that attacked us. It tells us we must be hallucinating for driving for 2 days straight.
That wasn't a hallucination.
We have a match against a guy called El Mago. The masked man runs in the ring mid-match and is taken down by security. The masked man is revealed to be just a fan who was just trolling, and he wants us to sign his mask and we get the choice to do it or not. We return back to the States and Baron Blade has built this dangerous looking steel cage which me and Cole Quinn have to have a match in. After the match, broadcast was stopped by WWE for some reason and Triple H. Because Triple H invaded our show, we chose to invade NXT. We have the choice to do it in DX outfits, NWO or 80 Superstars. I chose NWO to really stick it to Triple H. We invade NXT for the next couple of weeks, and then Triple H says the following week we have a match against someone that's going to change our life forever. The mystery opponent is the Masked Man, and it's the actual Masked Man. And we won by roll-up, so it actually glitched, and we didn't actually get to see who it was. Anyway, I googled it, and it is Baron Blade. Baron Blade has betrayed us, and he's had it out for us since 2K15. With Baron Blade out of the picture, because he's a dirty snakedom, Triple H reveals that he's bought our contract from Baron Blade, and he now has control over Buzz's career. However, Daniel Bryan and Kurt Angle come over and say if he's signed to WWE, they would love to have him on a SmackDown on Raw, and Buzz chose Raw. It gets emotional as Cole Quinn doesn't get signed to WWE, however he's off to Japan to pursue a great independent career. It's not goodbye forever, but it's goodbye for now for Cole Quinn. We were off to the races and we win a Battle Royal on SmackDown and become #1 contender for the United States Championship, and we face Bobby Roode in an Iron Man match at Backlash. We host a variety of open challenges after winning the United States Championship, but we run into a rivalry of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, who ruin our matches and want the United States title. So does Bobby Roode, and he wants his rematch. At Money in the Bank, we're put into a fatal four-way against Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn and Bobby Roode. We retain the championship, but after that, Triple H puts us in a 2-1 handicap match against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Randy Orton gets involved and hits us with an RKO that Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn become the co-United States champions. After this, we go to Japan with WWE and we win some matches, and we even beat Cole Quinn. Cole Quinn makes a little return. We earn the respect of the locker room and we main event in the Dome and become friends with AJ Styles. John Cena returns to SmackDown and he sounds a little bit different.
I'm here because I've heard all the buzz. You gotta see this guy who's blowing up on the indies. You gotta see this guy who invaded NXT and stuck it to Triple H, who won the US title and defended it in an open challenge week after week. I wonder where he got that idea.
How about you and me go one-on-one at SummerSlam? After that, all your questions will be answered.
Let's do it.
Man, 2K should have left John Cena out. It was an okay impression, but, you know, it clearly weren't him, you know what I mean? We ask AJ to teach us the calf crusher for our match at SummerSlam as we have a submission match with John Cena. But whilst that's happening, we have a viper breathing down our neck. And Randy Orton wants an opportunity to take on John Cena at SummerSlam. But we beat Randy Orton to prove that we belong in the ring with John Cena at SummerSlam. We beat John Cena at SummerSlam with the help of AJ Styles. However, Kurt Angle randomly tells us we've been sent to Raw effective immediately. And it doesn't really tell us why. Our Raw debut is made by interrupting The Miz's Miz TV episode 100, and The Miz doesn't like that, and he's not going to give us an Intercontinental Championship opportunity just because we interrupted him. He sends his entourage onto us. Making a couple more enemies on Monday Night Raw, which was Elias. And Elias and The Miz Taraj and The Miz all team up on you week after week after week. Finally get some sort of backup in Sasha Banks, and you and Sasha Banks mock The Miz and Maurice, and you unveil a new championship, a custom championship of your choice. I chose to go with the replica Intercontinental Championship. After this, you go into a Intercontinental Championship match with The Miz at the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and you become the new Intercontinental Champion. You walk out of Hell in a Cell with 2 championships, but Kurt Angle says you have to relinquish one. I relinquished the custom championship and I walked down with the Intercontinental Championship. We then get into a crazy rivalry with Bray Wyatt where he burns our van, gasses us out, and even gets Cole Quinn under his power and beats us in a steel cage match at Survivor Series. Now, we're really outnumbered as Cole Quinn isn't even in our corner anymore. We haven't got Baron Blade. However, there is someone that has a demon inside them, and that's Finn Balor. And he offers to help us, and he tells us to go to Matt Hardy to go into the multiverse to find our inner demon. Now, we go to find our inner demon, and it's going to be between beating up Baron Blade or beating up a zombie version of Triple H. I went to face Baron Blade, and we beat up Baron Blade, and we also beat up Bray Wyatt after that in his own compound, and we burn his house alive. Following that, Matt Hardy chose all the alter egos that we could possibly have, and we choose the demon one to match with Finn Balor. Now, being in the multiverse, it's just like being in space. Time is different from there to real life. A couple of weeks have gone by and we're heading to the Royal Rumble pay-per-view where we're teaming up with Demon Finn Balor to take on Bray Wyatt and Cole Quinn. And we've got this amazing entrance with Finn Balor and our character, and it looks absolutely amazing. Finn Balor and Buzz beat Bray Wyatt and Cole Quinn comes out of the trance that he was in by Bray Wyatt. Following that, we're back to the championship picture as we have been given opportunities to compete in the Elimination Chamber for the Universal title. However, Triple H made sure everyone we had a rivalry with to this date was in that Elimination Chamber, along with the Universal Champion Braun Strowman, who was our first match in the WWE. Week leading up to it, we outsmarted Braun Strowman, and Braun Strowman also beat us down. So we get to the Elimination Chamber and it's absolute chaos. He puts us through a pod, Bray Wyatt gets out early, and it's all going down. However, we win the Universal Championship from Braun Strowman, and we are the new Universal Champion. However, on the next night on Raw, Triple H has Plan E, which is Evolution. And Evolution come down and beat me up, outnumbered and outmanned. However, AJ Styles and Finn Balor make their return, and they are here to help us out against Evolution. And it's Fastlane. It will be a 6-man tag match. Buzz and Finn Balor and AJ Styles taking on Triple H, Batista and Randy Orton Evolution. But, forgot to mention, on the lead up to Fastlane, Triple H tried to kill us. Just watch this.
From behind, we should have known these two would get involved. Oh no, he's way too far. No. We need some medical help back there immediately.
So at Fastlane we beat them. However, AJ Styles cashes in his Money in the Bank briefcase and he beats us, becoming the new Universal Champion, taking the championship away from Buzz just after he won it just a month prior. Now Buzz is really outnumbered. Although everyone he's ever known has turned on him. But the one person hurt the most was Baron Blade. But Baron Blade sees we need help more than ever, because Baron Blade is a father figure to us that we don't have anymore. Because, as I said earlier, Buzz lost his father, and the last thing he has of him is that bug fan. That bug fan's been set alight by Bray Wyatt, and that's gone. Buzz is at the lowest point he could possibly be, but Baron Blade is there when he needs him. Baron Blade comes in and he helps us even the odds going into WrestleMania. And at WrestleMania, it's AJ Styles' first Buzz, special guest referee being Triple H. At WrestleMania, Baron Blade and Buzz come out in the bug van that his dad got him, and they somehow repaired it. I don't know how, but they somehow repaired it. Baron Blade evens the numbers by taking out Finn Balor, and then also Triple H has to count the 3 count, earning Triple H's respect, and hopefully now Buzz can have a bit more of an easier road in the WWE, and that's probably one of the greatest debut years anyone's ever had. Buzz went from high school gyms to the main event of WrestleMania in 1 full year. So that's it with 2K19. We're about to go on to 2K20, where it's the first female storyline. So we've got male and a female storyline. They're best friends, and the name are Red and Trey. So let's get started with their origin story when they was in high school and how they got their nicknames. The story starts with 2 high school kids with a dream to go to WWE. They both write a list of things they want to accomplish in the WWE, and the things might change when they get to WWE, like for example, from it being the Diva Championship back then to the Women's Championship, from competing in NXT challenges to competing for the NXT title. They run into their high school bully, Brooklyn Von Braun, and she beats up Red and squirts ketchup all over her, and that's how she gets the nickname Red. Trey then slips on a Trey, and that's how he gets his nickname Trey. Trey has foster parents. As his real parents, he doesn't know where they are. He is hoping to one day find them and become a big enough star that they one day come and see him. He holds on to a letter from them, and that helps keep him motivated. Now the backstory is out of the way, they go through the independence, but they do it as a package deal, as best friends. Through a couple of ups and downs in their friendship, they still always stick together, and that's how they got contracts in WWE, sticking together. Red won the Mae Young Classic, and she got an opportunity to sign with NXT. However, they didn't want to sign Trey, but she said it becomes a package deal, so they signed Trey as well. They get through NXT. Trey didn't get many opportunities. He became the runner-up in the Dusty Rhodes Classic with the Velveteen Dream, even dressing up like the Velveteen Dream, but the Velveteen Dream turned on him. Red had some championship ambitions, and she ended up winning the championship, and she was the face of NXT. We go over to Monday Night Raw, and Red is on Monday Night Raw with Trey, and well, the same problem's happening. Trey's not getting booked, but Red is getting booked. However, Samoa Joe had just won the Universal title, and he's gloating about it in the ring. And out comes Trey trying to make a name for himself and introduce himself to the new Universal Champion, Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe looks at him as a joke and offers him an opportunity at the Universal Championship. Trey then reverses the Coquina Clutch and pins Samoa Joe and becomes the new Universal Champion. Samoa Joe is chasing down Trey throughout the arena, and he escapes. We then fast forward, and Red is competing in the Money in the Bank ladder match. And she competes in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and she wins it. She wins the Money in the Bank ladder match. However, the Women's Champion Carmella throws the briefcase in the trash, and it destroys the briefcase. However, Trey, Red's best friend, saves the Money in the Bank contract and pieces it all together, and she gets a new briefcase so she can cash it in. However, at Money in the Bank, Trey also lost his Universal title. In the weeks leading up to Money in the Bank, Trey was getting lucky in his title defenses. He was barely getting past Braun Strowman, he was barely getting past Brock Lesnar, and that's all because of Samoa Joe. However, Randy Orton sanctions a match on the pre-show of Money in the Bank, an empty arena, and Trey loses the Universal title in front of nobody. Back to Red. So she's cashed in the Money in the Bank and she wins the Women's Championship. We fast forward a little bit later into their career and they have joined SmackDown Live. She's been teaming up with Mickie James recently. Mickie James has been told by the Big Show she's either got to be cut from the roster or she can go out and have one more retirement match. And then Mickie James said that's fine, but Red's not having it. Red's inspiration was Mickie James. She's one of the women that he saw growing up. So she makes a deal with the general manager. If Mickie James loses one more match, he's retired. And Mickie James goes on an absolute undefeated streak with Mickie James and Red, and they become your new women's tag team champions. However, on Trey's side of things, he is trying to find an identity and trying to see what he can do. So he seeks the advice of Paul Heyman, the greatest manager of all time. Paul Heyman suggests to call out The Undertaker. So Trey follows Red into the bottom of the arena at 3 AM in the night. And they go into this multiverse world where all the spooky characters come out. And it is the wildest stuff you've seen. There was jump scares, there was head tilts, Bray Wyatt was there, Papa Shango was there, Kane was there, Nikki Cross. We killed Kane somehow, I don't know what happened to Kane. All just to find the Undertaker. And Undertaker appears on the motorbike, looking cold, and we beat him up. But obviously no one's going to believe us that we beat Undertaker, so we call him out for a match at Survivor Series. That's the challenge, and we're taking him on at Survivor Series, and we beat him a casket match, kind of. We have to put him in a hearse. So, yeah. Back to Red's side of things. Red is still holding the tag team titles with Mickie James. It has been almost 2 years, and Mickie James has still not lost a match, and she's also the SmackDown Women's Champion. And Red wants to go for the championship, but she feels awkward doing it. She doesn't know whether to turn on her or just to ask for it. So eventually she just asks for it. And Mickie James says, yeah, that's fine, let's do this. James has to retire as Red has won the championship, and we retire Mickie James. So we fast forward another 2.5 years, and Red has the SmackDown Women's Championship, is confronted by the man Becky Lynch, but she wants another opportunity, and she's got her own faction, basically a United Kingdom stable. And Becky Lynch calls her out for a championship opportunity. And surprise, surprise, look who the general manager is. It's the high school bully, Brooklyn Von Braun. Brooklyn Von Braun has been MMA fighter on the same level as Ronda Rousey. And she comes in as the general manager of SmackDown. Red must defend the championship in 5 one-on-one matches. Kofi, Xavier, Big E, Trey and Red, all in individual matches against the United Kingdom faction. The night kicks off well, Kofi Kingston gets a victory. However, Big E and Xavier Woods unfortunately lose their match. Red wins her match, however it's up to Trey to get the job done and retain the championship on Red's behalf. So the match is going on, it's Drew McIntyre versus Trey, and the match is going in Trey's favour. Trey's about to close in on the victory, however the returning Samoa Joe is back after 7 long years to take down Trey, and he wants to take everything from us. After Red loses her championship, Trey has opportunity against Adam Cole, who is the current WWE champion. Samoa Joe helps Trey win the championship because he wants to take the title off him. But Trey didn't want to win that way. He wanted to win the legit way so people could see him as a legitimate superstar. But nonetheless, another tainted championship victory. He then retains the championship once again over Adam Cole inside a steel cage. Continue. There's a couple of things that are left out. So when it comes to Trey's parents, earlier on in the career mode, we find out this.
He's always wanted to meet his birth parents, and now that we know what happened, what are we gonna say when he asks about them?
I really don't think he can handle the truth, that they're dead.
What's the alternative, honey? Just let him believe they're still out there somewhere and they don't care enough to ever contact him?
I don't know. I wish there was a way to keep his hope alive, but not hurt him.
After retaining the WWE Championship over Adam Cole in a steel cage, Brooklyn Von Braun and Trey go ahead to the finals of the Mixed Match Challenge. So do Riley Flash and Red. You get to choose whether to play as Red or whether to play as Trey. When it comes to Red, he doesn't trust Brooklyn, and she's a bit off with Trey for them being very pally-pally. And Because Brooklyn's a former MMA fighter, she's going to try and show Trey how to reverse cocky in the clutch next time he faces Samoa Joe. It all ended up being a setup from Brooklyn actually teaming up with Samoa Joe. Samoa Joe is the new WWE champion. After the whole thing with the mixed match challenge blows over and Red and Trey are friends once again, Red is trying to tick something off the list, and that is the Divas Championship. But apparently it's already spoken for. It's spoken for by Brooklyn Von Braun. Brooklyn Von Braun has saw the list and she's taken the Divas Championship and crowned herself the champion. So Red will be taking on Brooklyn Von Braun at the Royal Rumble for the Divas Championship. However, Trey is entering the Royal Rumble. Red takes on Brooklyn Von Braun at the Royal Rumble. Red pulls through and gets the victory over Brooklyn Von Braun, and she becomes the new Divas Champion. A championship that she's wanted to hold since she was a little girl. Trey ends up kicking Sin Cara's trampoline because he thinks he's got the number 2 spot. However, Red reveals that his paper's folded in half and he's actually got a number in the 20s. The Rumble's going on. Adam Cole was in there with Tyler Breeze and Otis and eliminates both of them. And the most iconic WWE2K micro moment happened. Just see this.
What just happened there? His trampoline exploded. Is he okay?
And the way Trey just walks past them like, sorry. Anyway, Trey gets in there and he ends up winning the Royal Rumble and he's going to WrestleMania. However, they may not get to WrestleMania as Red is forced to retire, as Brooklyn knows a secret of Red that will ruin her forever. So she says she either has to retire or she's going to expose her dirty secret. And then that's when Red decides to retire. Trey then says, we're a package deal, we come together, we go together, and Trey retires too. It's announced that they're in the WWE Hall of Fame and Brooklyn is not happy about it in the slightest. We get to the Hall of Fame. Trey's left 2 spots for his parents to be there. Obviously we know his parents have obviously passed away, and his foster parents obviously doesn't talk to them because he stole the money from them because they thought he was going to college but he was actually going to learn to wrestle. And that's when him and Red fell out because he lied to her, but then she then forgave him. Trey's supposed real parents end up appearing and Trey's in absolute shock. Brooklyn Von Braun doesn't stick to her word. Can't stand the sight of Red getting some recognition. She ends up exposing Red regardless of what she told her. It all goes off in this cutscene.
Trey, even your birth parents are here, which is amazing. Stand up, please. There's just one thing I want to mention that you left out of your speech. You see, Red wasn't 100% honest about what led to her retirement and later her best friends. In fact, it turns out she has a little secret, which is the real reason she walked away from...
Whoa, that's a shock. He's always wanted to meet his birth parents, and now that we know what happened...
I really don't think he can handle the truth, that they're dead. Do you?
No, it would crush him.
You've probably asked yourself a million times, why? Why didn't they want to be my parents?
The truth is, we did, but we had to make the hardest decision of our lives because we didn't feel we could give you the life you deserved.
And that life is one where you can have the freedom to follow your dreams, no matter what they might be. To become anything you want.
Using the only letter I have from my real parents as some sort of motivational speech is kind of a cheap move.
They're right, though. You got a second chance in life, and you need to make the most of it.
Fine. But when this whole WWE thing doesn't work out, I'm blaming you.
It'll work out. I promise. Please, don't tell him our secret about the letter. It's not going to help anything.
It turns out she has a little secret, which is the real reason she walked away from WWE.
You have to do something. She's gonna ruin everything. I'm sorry, but I'm done hiding this for us. It's over.
What really happened was I found out the truth behind this secret, and she didn't want me to tell anyone. So she chose to retire instead. But I couldn't sit back and let her get away without everyone knowing the real Red. So let's start with this. That lovely older couple in the audience, they're not Trey's parents. I know, because they're fakes I hired to be here. That letter you got that said they were coming tonight, also a fake. But if you want to see your real parents, I can make that happen. Here they are. Yeah, that pretty much says it all. And look at the date there. They were already long gone by the time we were in high school. Which makes you wonder, Trey, how could they have written you a letter? Maybe someone else wrote it to try to manipulate you into doing whatever they wanted. But who would do such a terrible thing? Certainly not your so-called best friend, right?
After this, Red and Trey are in the same hotel room, and it's very awkward and very tense. Then ends up forgiving her, and they have one more match. Brooklyn Von Braun and Samoa Joe taking on Trey and Red. It's a grand entrance. Red and Trey are all in gold, and they are ready to have an amazing match to main event WrestleMania. The match goes on, it's absolutely back and forth. These two teams need the win more than ever. It is our heroes Red and Trey who come out with the victory. Come out your winners, taking the spotlight, taking the limelight, taking it all in. And who knows, they're probably going to step out of retirement after all the secrets are now out. So that was 2K20, and 2K20, I'm giving it 9 out of 10, the best one so far. Now with 2K22 about to go on to, there's no definitive ending, you just go through a bunch of storylines. So I'm going to go through the highlights of what storylines I had, what was fun through the female and the male storylines, and then we'll go back to the story driven ones in 2K23 and 24. So let's get going with WWE 2K22. Starting things off with the women's storyline, we get to the Performance Center, and we make a name for ourselves by going to Monday Night Raw when there was a spot open and beating Sasha Banks. We get signed to NXT, and Dakota Kai is spreading some lies about us, and she ends up taking the lie detector test and gets exposed. And then we win the NXT Women's Championship at WrestleMania. We get to SmackDown, and Lacey Evans has created the Women's United States Championship given to her by Mr. McMahon. We end up winning the Women's United States Championship, and then we go over to the SmackDown Women's Championship. Asuka asks her to take out Beth Phoenix before the Royal Rumble, as she doesn't want to take on Beth Phoenix at WrestleMania. We take her out, we go into the Royal Rumble ourselves, and we're about to win it, and Beth Phoenix comes out as the last entrant, and she clears house, and it comes down to Beth Phoenix and your character. We then eliminate Beth Phoenix, and we'll go to WrestleMania. We take on Asuka, and we beat Asuka at WrestleMania. On Raw, we go for the first ever Women's Intercontinental Championship. Later on, we win the Money in the Bank, and we go to cash in on Naomi, but Charlotte ruins it. And we face Naomi at SummerSlam after beating Charlotte, and we win the Raw Women's title. That concludes the women's storyline. Obviously, there's multiple other storylines that I did play throughout this mode. Obviously, I was just going through the main ones, which showed me winning the titles, because there's not much of a real story in this one. It's not much of a grind. This one's quite unique. Over to the men's side of things, we go through the Performance Center, making friends and enemies. We're going to a rivalry with Keith Lee, and he pounces us. But then we finally get to the NXT Championship, and we beat Finn Balor and his demons. Oh, we also won the North America title as well. On to SmackDown, I win the Intercontinental Championship in a fatal 5-way. I also become the King of the Ring, and I also get Matt Riddle speared by Goldberg. I won the Money in the Bank and announced my cash in on Roman Reigns for the next SmackDown. But as the match is going on and I'm about to win, Kevin Owens comes in and cashes in his briefcase from the previous year, but the time was suspended, briefcase holding time, because he was injured. They then beat Kevin Owens a couple of weeks later and become the Universal Champion and defend the championship at SummerSlam in a triple threat match. We lose the championship to Edge in a loser leaves brand match. Then that takes us to Monday Night Raw. So we get into the rivalry with Tommaso Ciampa, and he's the United States Champion, and we beat him for the title, and he goes absolutely crazy. He goes on an absolute tear, and it's not looking good for us. Here on down the line, we join Seth Rollins and the Monday Night Messiah. The Royal Rumble was part of the Messiah. We find out that Seth Rollins put us at entry number 2. We end up turning on him and the whole Messiah. We take him on at WrestleMania for the WWE title, and out come the Messiah, and the Messiah are looking to take me out. So I thought, but then they turn on Seth Rollins, and they look at me as the Monday Night Messiah, and we're now going to run Monday Night Raw as the new WWE Champion. That concludes 2K22. Because there wasn't a story and there wasn't much of a grind, there wasn't much to mention. It's quite a recent game, I kind of just went through it quite quickly. But let's go into next storyline, which will be the men's storyline, The Lock, for WWE 2K23. So the male storyline is about a superstar called The Lock. He is given a gimmick called obviously The Lock, and he comes out of a safe, and that's his whole gimmick. I don't think the gimmick's even that bad, and he just goes on this whole career mode, whining and complaining how he's been held back, even though it's the first night he debuts, he wins the Intercontinental title. He then gets a choice whether to join the Hurt Business and be the leader, or go under the wing of Randy Orton in Evolution. I chose Evolution, yet he was still complaining about that. He then got kicked out of Evolution because he thinks he can do everything on his own. Oh, and it doesn't even stop there. After that, he confronts Shawn Michaels. Him and Shawn Michaels get heated, and he accidentally pushes Shawn Michaels off the apron and ends up injuring him. Shawn Michaels then fires him on the spot. He then goes away, comes back, retrains like Drew McIntyre, comes back, and he has 50-something days to win the championship. He has to then get some allies and backup. Then he wins the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. I don't know, I didn't like this storyline. I think he was a bit of a crybaby. But then we're going to the women's storyline. It's about legacy. Our character is a nepotism hire made by WWE of a fictional character called Justine, who was basically like Lita and Trish Stratus back in the day, winning the women's championship, but her career was cut short after a rivalry with Molly Holly, she says, and obviously she can't wrestle anymore. So obviously she trains her niece, which is our character, to become a wrestler. We have a Survivor Series debut, and it doesn't go well, and we're not looked up fondly by management. We then meet someone called Ava, another fictional character, and we become a tag team. We win Money in the Bank, first ever tag team Money in the Bank ladder match. We win that, and we go on to cash it in for the women's tag team titles. Time goes on, and we get to the Elimination Chamber. In fact, it was actually Justine who turned on us as she returned at the Elimination Chamber, and after she got cleared to compete, and she became the SmackDown Women's Champion. We then had our rematch with her at WrestleMania, and we ended up beating her, and that's pretty much the story. I think it was pretty obvious from the jump that that was going to be the end goal. I don't know, I feel like 2K23 is very weak for my career / my rise. I feel like the Lock storyline is just a whiny bitch. And when it comes to the legacy storyline, don't get me wrong, there was cool storylines within it. But I don't know, it just was pretty obvious from the beginning that she was just going to come out of retirement and turn on us anyway. I mean, it would have been weird if that wasn't the storyline outcome. So yeah, it was pretty obvious. However, in 2K24, I think both of them was quite good. Let's get into 2K24. With the most recent games, I'm not going to go into too much detail about them because obviously they're quite recent, so everyone kind of remembers what goes on in them. But let's go into the women's storyline for 2K24, Unleashed. So we're the face of a brand called TBD. Also, we're the co-owner. One of our friends, Psycho Sally, have a tryout for WWE, but we think we're too edgy for WWE. Our best friend and other owner tells us to just go for it as well. To just go for it and see how Sally goes. She's a performance center, and Shotzi is just beefing us because we didn't put her on the TBD card when she was in Indies. We end up making it to Monday Night Raw, and we go through 3 different storylines. The first one is when you turn heel. It's when you turn heel and team up with Rhea Ripley, turn on your friend Psycho Sally. Psycho Sally is basically like 2015 Bayley. The partnership ends with Rhea Ripley once you and Dom get a little too close. The career mode also follows Sally's career as well. The second story is where you're having that wrestler / actor lifestyle. The third one was my favourite, and it was like a horror character where you have powers which are unleashed by your inner demons, and it was just wild and scary, and it was just super cool, and you're facing all types of weird creatures, and it's just amazing. William Regal wants a holiday, so he makes us the general manager of Raw. We end up making a War Games match, but we don't put Shotzi in it, and we don't take on Shotzi the Device, and Becky Lynch earns herself a Women's Championship opportunity. However, Shotzi comes in on a tank, and this happens.
I can't take my eyes off what's about to happen.
Shotzi just picked up speed. She's gonna rail the cage. Into the side.
Down they go.
Oops. Oops? I'm gonna be out for months. Is that really all you have to say?
We end up earning ourselves a world title match against Bianca Belair, and we do a best of 3 all around the indie circuit, ending in the promotion we started with, but it's been broadcast on Monday Night Raw. We win the title in the place it all started, and we celebrate with our best friend, and the story ends. Or does it? Becky is back and wants the title opportunity she earned at War Games, and our best friend sanctions the match and turns on us. Becky wins the title, and our former best friend explains how she has control over our career, as she had something that we signed years ago on a napkin. For weeks, she tortures us by putting us up against multiple opponents in one night. It takes our friend Psycho Sally to come between us and tell us to settle our issues. So they have a match in an empty arena, and it's a powerful part of the story. And they get all their emotions out, and they get through everything. They make up, and she rips up the contract. And we head to WrestleMania, and we are Becky Lynch's mystery opponent for WrestleMania. We have a back and forth match with Becky Lynch and the main event of WrestleMania, and we eventually get the victory and win the world title in the main event of WrestleMania. And it's an amazing ending to the story. I think this was better than the men's story for this game. Talk about the main story, let's get into it. So we come in as the dark horse. Roman Reigns has vacated the WWE Championship. We enter the tournament, and we in the finals with Cody Rhodes. Roman Reigns costs Cody Rhodes the title, and we become the new WWE Champion. We go through a variety of different storylines. So we go through the 3 years, and we are going to match Roman Reigns' title reign record. In the lead up to that, we have a run-in with Cody Rhodes, and Cody Rhodes is the World Heavyweight Champion of Monday Night Raw at the time, and me and him win the tag team titles together. However, it all falls to pieces because we have a match at the Royal Rumble where we're going to unify the World Heavyweight and the WWE Championship. We end up winning and unifying the titles, and we head into WrestleMania. But the winner of the Royal Rumble was Montez Ford. However, Roman Reigns has other plans. Pay for Brock Lesnar to come out and break Montez Ford's arm, and it will be Brock Lesnar we're facing at WrestleMania. The Bloodline try and get involved, Jay, Jimmy and Solo. However, we get some backup of our own, and we send the Bloodline packing. We get to WrestleMania, and on night one in the main event, we beat Brock Lesnar to retain the championship, and once midnight strikes on the Sunday night, we will have been the longest reigning champion, and we would have broke Roman Reigns' record. The whole of this story is just coming out of Roman Reigns' shadow, the story is more about Roman Reigns, realistically, more than us. However, Roman Reigns attacks us, and he says on night 2 we're going to be facing him.
Let's go.
The match goes on, and Miz and Troy, who have been trying to take us down throughout the whole career mode, come out trying to stop it. They get stopped in their tracks. It's crazy how Roman Reigns went from the muscle of the Shield in 2K15 to now the final boss in the final game. It's a feel-good moment. We break the record. Feel-good moment when the clock strikes midnight. We break the record. The pyro's going off. We've retained the championship. We've beat Roman Reigns in the main event of WrestleMania. And that concludes the WWE2K24 male my career. I'll give this one a 6 out of 10. But that concludes it all. What a wild ride it's been. From WWE 2K15 to 2K24. We've won multiple championships, and we've been friends. And enemies. However, it's all come to a close now, and obviously, if you enjoyed, if you made this far, thank you so much. Also, if you made this far, comment down below W. Be sure to like and subscribe, all that great stuff, and more content. It means the world to me, and I'm just going to leave you with roughly how long each game took. Some are a rough estimate because I didn't time myself, but some of the exact stats, and also I'm going to show you how many championships we won and how much things we accomplished throughout the 10 years of career mode we just played. So thank you everyone so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, all that great stuff, and I hope you all have a lovely day.